Hey guys, hope you are doing well. We'll make a quick London recap about this London session. I will be very quick because, yeah, I respect your time with jobs, all that stuff. Maybe you prefer something very quick and then go into more detail on trade recaps, all that stuff. So, um, make sure to watch the photon analysis pre-London because price didn't move too much, to be honest. There are nothing new. Uh, since I post my analysis in the morning. So yeah, I will just start here on the daily time frame. As you know, and we keep repeating ourselves because it's important to understand. After reaching these premium prices and the chalk berries again, we understand this low is weak. So everything here, this demand, are just reaction points to produce small pullbacks, build the liquidity needed to then full price to the downside. So every long here it's much more low probability because we understand based on item frames that this low is weak and it's very likely that will get run. So I'm much more in favor of sells than buys based on the daily time frame. Going down to the 4 hour, internally here we can see I have the same swings as the daily. You already know, but maybe some more of you are new, so I need to repeat. So this is the swing high, this is the swing low, right? So price was just putting this complex pullback of the bearish leg, right? And after this internal break of structure, when price moved to the downside here, I had the indication that the low is weak. So at this point in time, I'm more in favor of sells. As you can see here, price is reacting to some kind of demand. Extremes always tend to produce unfavorable price action, even from weak legs. A lot of the times, weak extremes, produce the pullbacks that are a little bit unfavorable if we are looking for sales. So they are also made to produce liquidity. So what I mean by that is when I have something like this, imagine at this point in time after the chalk, right? This low is weak, but price is reacting to the extreme also because price won't move straight down. It needs to move in waves, right? And a lot of the times price react to extreme, build some kind of, for example, equal lows, something like that. And then at this stage, we have a lot of liquidity target, and then price have a clean path to the downside. So yeah, a lot of the times these interactions here are just produce liquidity for price to actually to feel the move to the downside, is what I was trying to say. So here on the focus more on the 4 hour time frame, we can see that, like we have been saying a lot of the times, we have this big leg, right? And even though M15 here can boss bullish, even though it can boss bullish here, M15, the officially the pullback from this leg, right, will only start when this supply that is holding price actually gets taken out. So until then, OM15 boss bullish represents is that price is pulling back, and I'm interested in looking for sells here because I don't assume structure or order flow that it will change. I need to see them. Changing to assume that something has changed. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not assuming it will change until it does. So yeah, until this supply is holding every M15 boss, it's just to mitigate something deeper inside the range. So what happened here? After the 4 hour change of character, it was yesterday night, I believe. After this 4 hour change of character, I have the indication that this low is weak because now what we have something very simple that price reached the extreme of the range of a change of character. So at this point in time, internal structure, because this is M15 boss here, internal structure is aligned with this 4 hour leg. So this low likely to get run. Another indication that I don't want to take buys. Then going to the M15, at this point in time, we can see that we both bearish, right? So it's aligned with the 4 hour leg internal, right? With a 4 hour range. So I'm expecting this low to get run. In the beginning of the session, price was around here. So there was an aggressive trade that I will go through on the M1 time frame here. But to be completely honest, it's a little bit low probability in my opinion, and I prefer to stick to the high probability ones, because like you can argue about following the chain, which is very nice and helps a lot, but following the chain can be good, like we are following the chain, right? Something like this. But after the boss, a lot of the times you don't want to keep following the chain, because what happened is after the boss we tend to have a pullback. So if you put and you stack all your confluence, you put premium versus discount, you watch for liquidity, you watch for what the POI has achieved. This POI here for me, like nothing where equalize, is at super discount prices. We have much cleaner stuff above, and the fact that price was bearish here, usually the most recent range can be used as internal range liquidity, right, to facilitate the pullback. So that was one negative aspect. The other negative aspect is the M1 was not clean, for me at least, and it was not during my session hours. So I was happy to miss that trade, no worries. Then price popped to the downside again. Some people tried to buy here, because if you go to the 1 hour, they said it was an H1 demand zone, which is valid. But remember everything I said. For me, this low is weak, so I personally prefer to trade from strong highs and strong lows. And for me, this is a weak leg, right? M15 is bearish, so for me, I will not be interested in taking this buy. If I'm going to look for buys, in this instance, I will need at least M15, because for me this is an M15 high to break to the upside, and we have a convincing now that this is a strong low in terms of M15 perspective. So now, even though I'm trading from a weak 4-hour leg, because M15 boss bullish, this is actually M15 strong low. So yeah, at this point in time, after the M15 boss, I'm expecting a much deeper pullback, maybe to mitigate something here. So I'm happy to take the long here, but I need to wait for M15 boss, because I want to trade from strong legs, and the only way to trade from a strong leg is if you have a boss here, right? So I already took a lot of losses trying to buy after these jogs from weak legs. As you can see, and I said to you before, around extremes we tend to see unfavorable price action. So after the jog and price goes down, goes up again, what it's just doing, creating the liquidity bit that is needed for price to move to the downside, right? So I personally ignore these ones. And yeah, going to the M1 price action, I already posted on the Photon markups. I did not take any trade today, nothing according to my plan. Let me just go back to adjust here a few things. Let me just do this. Okay, so if you going back in the morning, if you just use the chain and see that maybe price can be interesting looking for sales here. So I'll go just to the M1 price action to go through the price action in detail, something like this. Okay, you understand my idea. So okay, so going to them one first, the hours, right, not very good for me. Secondly, what I really didn't like is M1 was bullish, right? We have the move up, the move down, the move up here, and then we have the move down. We have here the move up, right? The move down and the move up again. So for me, if we have something like this, after this break of like after the change of character here, but most significantly this supply was taken out, for me this high on M1 was weak, especially with this equalize. So I personally will not be looking for setting limits. The only way I would get involved is with M1 confirmation entry. It never happened here, so we're basically after this breaking the supply. For me, especially with these highs, very corrective, right? We have trend line liquidity above. I personally will not be looking to set limits because basically it's trading from a weak high. Assuming all that stuff, M15 not clean for me, I personally stay away. So price keeps moving down. We have a boss right on M15. For me, it's a clean boss. There are, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, these trades make sense. For me, it's the only one that makes sense during this session because you have a flip that swept liquidity, right? So for me, this is the only time that you can look for sales. Personally, I was not very interested on this because again, after M15 boss, if you put premium burst discount, and we also have, if you use the engulfed method, you have an extreme that is unmitigated. Yeah, a lot of the times after the boss, we tend to see a pullback, and this most recent range on M1, I just stopped taking them because they are a lot of the times used as internal range liquidity. So yeah, as you can see, it worked out, but probably end up as a break even because after the boss, what happened? Price just use this one as internal range liquidity to facilitate a pullback, right? So nothing very clean in my opinion. Nothing happened, I think. So nothing happened, especially high probability stuff here during London. The only thing was this setup, but as I explained also in the markups, that after the boss, right? I'm not trying to follow. I don't like to follow Shane. I don't like to take the most recent range because a lot of the times it's just a small move, and yeah, I prefer to stay away from this and focus on high probability stuff. A lot of you maybe are asking why I didn't take this one, and in terms of M1, it can be clean because it's extreme, wave inducement, all that stuff. But it's based on time frame analysis, and yeah, you know that I don't take this trade because I want to take trades from protect levels, from strong levels, and that only happen after if I want to take buys after the M15 loss. So yeah, that was London session. Nothing very clean in my opinion, and I will post now the New York forecast. But basically, let me just delete all this stuff. What I will be looking is okay. So what I will be looking for New York is basically I will be looking for taking a sell from here because, like I said, I want to take trades targeting this low. The only time I will be looking for buys is if you have a boss here and then a pullback. Then I will be looking for buys, but I'm well aware that this break of structure does not mean the high will get run. It just means price is pulling back, right, to then continue to the downside. Because if you go to the 4-hour time frame, you can use other time frames, but the 4-hour is very clean. You can see that the move up here, right after the chop, can be used just to mitigate this range that was formed. You can see here. Let me put here. It's be more clear, right? You can see that M15 can boss if you want, but just to mitigate something here. So I'll be looking for longs only after M15 boss. Otherwise, I'll be assuming structure will continue, order flow will continue, and I'll target the lows. So something also I just want to add is I personally don't look to M1 here because it didn't match anything on M15. And if you start looking for M1, just because on M1 it was clean and you can argue that there's a trade here, as you can see, the price moved down and pop up again. So you trade a lot, maybe a break even, or if you took a little bit lower down in this leg, a loss. And there you can take like a break even here, a break even, a loss, and price didn't did anything. So much better to stick to high probability stuff. I only look to M1 when price reach M15 POIs. If it didn't, I will keep being on M15 time frame. I spend the entire day, to be honest, on M15 because price didn't reach a good area for me. Price pulling back, price didn't reach a good area for me. And after the shock, I'm not interested in taking the buy. And yeah, I stay on M15. I didn't jump to M1 with fear of missing out. And yeah, that was the London recap. And yeah, see you guys soon. Hope you like it.